Hi, welcome back to Have a Go Heroes. This time we've got the post-stone home adventure. Last time the group ended up fighting zombies, and now they're trying to work out what's gone on and kind of resolving that issue. Also, we've kind of improved the setup this time so that it looks a bit more involving. You don't have to watch lots of screens at once. We've set it up in a way that you can kind of just watch it as one picture, even though it's not. You'll see what I mean. Either way, we found out it works a lot better that way, and I hope you enjoy it. Just a quick shout out to Emily Alice King, who did our pictures for the campaign. She's a really talented artist, and I hope you check her out. So without further ado, I return you to our regularly scheduled programming.
In-depth tattoos.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Hi guys.
Okay, so do you want to do a recap for you guys that we don't need to put on the screen anywhere? We're here.
We
bother about
investigated a place, which name I've forgotten. Stonehome.
That's the one.
Went to investigate Stonehome because it seemed to be abandoned / on fire. It wasn't signalling back to us, and there was smoke coming from a part of it.
The important part being it wasn't supposed to be abandoned or on fire.
Yeah, that. Things weren't right, son.
Yeah.
So we went to investigate. We got there, and there was some sleeping people. And there's one guy that was finger waggling. We went to investigate the sleeping people. Turns out they weren't sleeping. They were undead.
Yeah.
The finger waggling guy may have been the one causing it. We don't know. We fought. Some people decided to attack the guy, even though he'd done nothing wrong. Helix. Some people lost a fight to a table. Some people kept stabbing them and nothing happened and got really angry about it. And then basically that was the most of the things that happened. Apart from that, Edward found his way to an island. Over there now. And met with a ghost of Stonehome's past. Basically one of the guys, I forgot what his name was, Equinas, an academic guy who was in charge of Stonehome, found his corpse being attacked by a crab monster thing.
Yeah, the corpse had a key on it.
It did. Corpse had a key, spoke with the corpse, because its spectre appeared, asking why you're going through all that stuff.
This is so complete, I might bother to edit it in rather than do it myself.
Carry on.
I've ruined it.
And he also took, the spectre told Edward that Druit was dead. Do they know who that is?
Druit is dead.
Druit.
Druit is a whole other, we're not going there.
Alright, Druit is dead. You find more
We
about
don't know who Druit is.
You don't know who Druit is now.
You do.
I know who Druit is. And Vathonus Vengeance was responsible for it. And that's where we left off, I believe.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
None of the rest of us know that, right?
No, just me. I was alone.
You guys are cleaning up here,
Yeah, you were over there. I ended up in the water and decided I've gone back to the boat a few times. I'll see what's over that direction, and that's where I found the things and the stuff.
So Edward's in the water. Everyone else is clearing up. Edward, are you going straight back to everybody else?
I was gonna actually see if I could climb up and then just meet them when they come round.
Okay, cool. Okay.
I'm a bit sorry.
It's really easy to climb up there without too sure you got a climb speed. So
Yeah, I have a climb speed of 30.
take a roll. Okay, the rest of you, what are you doing? I mean, you're kind of in the middle of a destroyed cafeteria. There's salad everywhere, and everything else.
What a crime.
And corpses of like dead ogre and everything else around.
Has this fire died down
That fire has not died down. That building is.
now?
The fire has not gone anywhere really. It burnt part of this rope bridge, which then just fell into the sea. And this bridge here is metal, so it's kind of licking at it, and it's hot.
Okay.
You're on that.
Yeah, I'm on this.
So
watch
you
now.
can touch it, and it's hot. You know metal conducts.
I hope so.
Yeah. So
really bad scientist
yeah.
/ inventor.
So you know that that's dangerous, but it's not going anywhere. So it's a self-contained fire, but that building is torched. It's literally blazing at the moment.
So Stonehome is essentially lost.
For now, it's going to take some rebuilding. I mean, you know that was probably the records cabin. So the living quarters are still alive. You could get a new crew here, but it's going to take days.
Are
This is an incredibly brave attack from your perspective. Like the idea that the coin would do this, and you think it's the coin.
When
Because he said it.
Oh yeah, Equinas also said the coin.
The idea that they'd attack an offshore facility would not happen if Druit was alive. You think this is an opportunity attack?
Are there two people that we saw that were slightly conspicuous?
They went off.
Are they on?
Yeah,
They vanished, like they went to a certain point in the sea, and then kind of the ship just kind of almost like folded downwards and like disappeared into the water. It was the strangest thing you've seen in quite a while, and you've seen quite a few strange things. But it just like almost went whoop, and then vanished.
That's not. I don't know what that room is, do I? The room that's on fire.
No.
Okay.
No, the only rooms you've seen
Yeah.
are the cafeteria and this, which looks like some kind of people's quarters. And then this door was open briefly, but you didn't go in there.
Am I detecting any undead within 60?
No, that's all
all
you
pretty
can
clear
yeah.
up at the moment.
So I'm just going to cool down to the rest of them. Just go. I don't think there's any way we're going this way. We either have to go through the water or look around like in other places.
Can I see any of them from up there where I am?
Yes, you can, because the whole thing's raised, and you can kind of see across. I think one of them, at least, Matt was on that platform. As soon as you call, everyone can see each other. While it's a series of raised buildings in the water, you can kind of see across.
I'm going to whistle across to them. I won't actually whistle because you might blow the mic.
It should be fine. It's far enough away that we
Yeah.
can yell.
Yeah, so I'm going to whistle across to them. It's like, hey, are we done here? Because I could use a pint and some food and some dry clothes.
I think we are.
Well, if we've got something to take back to, well, that they know that it's completely destroyed, I guess so.
Cool, pick me up then.
All right.
Do we have to?
Are you exploring what you've got left, or are you just going?
Can we take a look in the rooms just now? I assume if we're in there, we may as well just have a quick.
So this room,
You can sit on that rock for a bit longer.
this room that you open in is like there's obviously there's like a desk in it, very small desk, like almost like a watch desk, and the room is stone, and at the end there's a gigantic stone doorway with a keyhole in it. It looks like safe, and there are arcane buttons on it.
Can I make an arcane check on it?
Yeah, sure. You can have a look and see what's in there. What are you looking for specifically?
I want to see if the magical properties of it are, causing it to be closed. If that's the thing that's causing it to be closed.
What do you get?
13 total.
You think, you don't know particularly, but you know from your religious writings that runes like this often are protective or offensive spells. You would guess that these are, if you don't open this door correctly,
Bang.
bang, it might even drop the entire rock that you're on into the sea.
Oh, okay. In the desk, can I find anything in and around the desk at all? Any
No, there's
evidence of
nothing
the
in there.
attack or anything like that?
Yeah, well, looking at it, the desk is in disarray, and like it looks like someone has tried the lock, or tried something on the lock, because there are like small burn marks around
Scratches
it.
or something like that, yeah. And any of the undead, I assume they're around.
There's no undead
Yeah,
in
they're
that.
all in that room.
They're all in the cafeteria or whatever. There was a big
Policy.
undead in there
Policy.
with the guy who seemed to be in charge of the undead.
Can
He's
I
left.
make a religion check, I guess, to see what could have tainted them?
Yeah, feel free.
That's 18.
You think this is a case of they were all killed by a larger force,
Okay.
and then there's a little bit of decomposition going on. Animate dead works several hours after a death, so it's possible he just animated them after the rest of his force had left.
So we think that there's one sole individual or some kind of controller, possibly those guys.
Yeah, maybe the guy who left. But it's easy enough for one necromancer with a few hours' work to raise all this.
Having seen the guy who came out with and having keen mind, can I make like an arcana check to see did he look like he had the
He had a spell
paraphernalia?
book.
So he looked like a caster.
He looked like a caster.
But what he
You
did,
don't need to roll for that.
I suppose what I'm saying is it's not like necromancers go around wearing skulls.
No,
on their
and he didn't have
belts.
like level 6 necromancy
Sorry,
you know,
yeah, but
to heavy metal.
there's a stereotypical
Long
thing
hair.
in fantasies where, like, for whatever reason, necromancers like to dress exceptionally
He
conspicuously.
was head to toe in black,
Right.
like had swept over hair over the top of his thing.
Or emo kid.
Yeah, he was either a necromancer or a metal fan. Like.
They're usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to head in after Semet, just kind of concerned about him that wasn't enough, and go up to the same door he did and sort of just go, oh yeah, I've seen this stuff before, and like put on my leather gloves and sort of
Am
like.
I anywhere near him?
You don't need to ask that every time.
Am I anywhere near him?
Yes, yeah, you're quite near.
No!
I'm just. I'm just going to identify it, but I need to touch it.
No. You have a tendency to make things that aren't supposed to explode.
I don't want to activate it. I just want to see what it is, what sort of magic it is.
I'm out of spells.
I'm gonna rest my hand on his shoulder at this point.
Look, it looks like it has a keyhole. If we're interested in what's on the other side, we should probably look.
Well,
for the key.
We say that, but I reckon there'd still probably be a trap to it. I understand that this thing could be trapped, but we should at least find out what sort of.
I'd like to point out that if people were to regularly use this, that a key would probably disable the.
I see. I get that. Okay. I won't touch it.
Did you ever graduate from the academy?
Yes, by actually doing practical things.
I do practical things.
Like burn down the academy.
Right.
Anyway, let's look into
Guys,
this.
that's
Meanwhile, I'm there bored swinging a key around.
Right.
Should we go and pick Edward up?
I mean, I suppose we have to.
Just the metal line flashing up.
I'm not going to mention it.
He told me, be as quick in and out of here as we could be, so I'm now tempted to take as long as humanly possible.
Yeah,
to
but
him,
he scares me. I don't want to upset him anymore.
he's all bark and I don't actually know. He might be quite nasty.
Yeah. The rest aren't.
A question: does anyone else know how to row the boat other than Edward?
I mean, I'm sure I could figure it out.
I've got the perfect thing in my pack. Just give me a moment. I'm going to start rummaging my bag.
We
He's
could
gonna
just
set the
give it a
water on
go,
fire.
right? Like, we can just grab an oar each, and how hard can it be?
Are you taking it out?
I think there's like this motor in my bag that is. I reckon I can probably attach this to the paddles and it'll get us there dead quick. Don't worry.
The paddles.
Yes, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll just angle it in the water. It'll be okay.
I take about 5 steps back.
I feel like
Check if my main arm is still there.
When your motor's get wet, I mean, won't that ruin it?
No, I'm not putting the motor in the water. I'm just
Right.
attaching it to the paddles.
Judging by the weapon, I'd say that's a bad idea.
Look up. Do it your way.
Did
I'm just going to sit down and
think
stop.
Oh man, I was really hoping there.
Like,
No,
that's just
we're not going far. We'll just do it by hand.
I was really hoping what you were going to do
How
was
much did
fail
you
on
win
boat crafting, but invent the whisk.
Just continue my.
Instead of doing 360s over and over again.
Okay. Let's paddle there. I'm not.
Edward, what? We're sending ineffectual rowers to come and pick you up.
Well, I'm on the way. Just get in the boat.
No, we found a room that's locked. We're hoping to find a key.
Okay.
Are you in the water?
No, I'm sat here.
He's sat on like a.
Oh,
castle
right.
bit.
Well, that's it. Do you not want us to come and pick you up?
Yes. Get a move on.
You just implied you were on the wherever. Never
Just
mind.
row the boat over there.
Yeah, alright, I'm just going to jump in and grab
As in,
it.
I'm also going to follow and start attempting to row.
I don't
know why we don't know how to row a boat.
No.
It confuses me.
No, because it's not dramatic if you fall. It's just funny.
Ezekiel only knows how
Yeah.
to ride a boat, and he spent his entire life in a library.
Oh, okay.
He's got no athletic ability whatsoever, and thus assumes no one else
You
does.
might not know how to boat. You might have once gone hunting.
Yeah, maybe.
Dad took you fishing.
Yeah, they do that in Cape
Dad
Town.
did
Definitely.
Cape Town.
I think I've probably rowed a boat before, or at least been in a boat while
Yeah.
someone else was rowing.
I know I've rowed. Give me a
Sorry, just to point out, I'm fairly certain that rowing a boat is a skill that anyone can just attempt in real life.
Yeah.
It's not. It doesn't require hours of training.
I'm not going to make athletics check. It's just if you say you can't do it or have a dexterity in the minus figures, then you're going to be terrible at it.
I would do it, but I refuse to.
So they're just the two of us.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay, I can't believe the reason that like it was difficult to get a boat from there to there.
Yes, it
Okay.
That's been the hardest part. How do I
Okay.
Ben's sitting there.
Just row the boat.
I'm not for this.
Okay, fair enough.
do you have to just refuse to get in?
Yeah, I'm waiting here.
Oh, and I'm waiting there with him.
We're not talking.
Just looking away from each other.
Yes.
Well, I attempt to make conversation several times and then sort of stutter and stop.
Every time you talk, I just turn the motor on.
Or just turn more around.
To which every time I attempt to talk, I go pale and take about 5 steps back.
Okay, so you get to the thing. You jump in the boat, I guess.
Yeah. Where are the other two?
They're fighting.
I'm gonna
They're
hand
having
you
a
the
couple
oar.
moments.
Thanks.
Are you not going to have another as well? He can have two, we can have one each, we can get there a bit quicker.
I'm just gonna stop running. I'm really bored of this one.
Okay.
Thank you. Nerds, get in the boat.
No. There's the locked door that the necromancer was interested in.
Oh, so, yeah. We found out what happened. Why do we?
No, we didn't.
We don't know what happened.
I'll climb up. And,
What was over where you were?
giant crab.
Oh, like the one.
No.
Oh, okay, good.
No, we don't talk about that.
So long as he's not there.
You alright? You're looking a bit.
No, fine.
So
So
giant crabs don't really-
Recognise these runes at all? Is it a pirate thing?
It's a pirate. Make me a wisdom check.
that's better than an investigation.
It's better than intelligence, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. 12.
This is probably their vault. It might have papers in important documents. Loot.
Okay, yeah. Good job you said the third thing.
Yeah. Know the buttons.
How to trigger people.
Can I have a look at the door and see if we can pick it in any way?
Don't you have a key around your neck?
Around my neck, I'll put it in my pocket. I don't know.
Okay, feel free
What to?
to make me a.
If it looks like he's picking the lock, I'm going.
I'm not picking the lock.
Cross.
It doesn't look very pickable. It's a
Sorry.
stone door.
I'm
so it's
also
not like-
standing back.
Even
I know
like-
what this is.
I know this is an explosive magical trap. If he's attempting anything other than, if he doesn't look like he's got a key on him, it looks like he's going to attempt some weird, like, picky lock shit. I'm
I'm also.
on the other side of the
So
bridge.
you're letting him touch it?
No, I haven't touched it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't touched it.
Have you shared with me that it's probably explosive? Or have you just kept it to yourself?
I kind of just inspected it. I didn't really.
Because I'm probably sounding quite close, I have no idea that this
Yeah.
thing's live.
It's so everyone's backing out of the room.
All I've done.
What are you
all
guys
I've done.
doing?
I've just shook my
Because it's
head
only a
at
5
this.
foot space.
To be fair, that's the point. I don't know that it's explosive because he hasn't explosive.
Well, all
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
done
what's
is
your
shook my
comment?
head at Helix.
Well,
That's what
6.
you've seen so far.
You've seen this before.
Oh, okay.
It's a glyph of warding. So
Oh, it's a glyph of warding,
yeah,
yeah.
an advanced version. But yeah.
Give it a look.
That's all I wanted to find out.
Haven't you tried unlocking this yet? You're a scientist, aren't
They
you?
didn't let me. As
Yeah.
soon as I went to touch it, they were just like,
Really? I
no.
never said you couldn't try
Yeah,
it.
well, the difference is I figured it out by looking.
Are you guys arguing in the doorway?
No.
What's that, a pneumatic drill?
just a motor. I'm just standing in.
Anyone have a passive perception of 19?
No.
Absolutely
At
not.
14?
No.
We're being attacked, ladies and gentlemen.
The GM's got sick. I was taking
You've
too
got a passive
long.
perception of above 12.
Yes.
You feel a movement in your pocket.
I'll go and feel around in my pocket.
Okay. The key is there.
Oh,
you feel
yeah.
like a weight hanging off it and then let go as you pull it. You think
Jiminy? Yeah. Oh yeah! Oh, guys, I found a key.
In your pocket? You found a key in your pocket?
No, I didn't find it in my pocket.
I'm still
I found it.
I mean, did you not think to try it in the keyhole?
I'm not listening, I'm opening the lock.
Door swings open.
Wow,
all
that's so easy.
the rooms glow slightly, a slight blue, and then there's a click, and the door opens. There's not much in here. There's basically like a battered book that you think might be like the daily accounts book.
Oh, I'm looking at it and they're
yeah.
disappointed.
Well, no. There's two green potions and 2 scrolls.
I do not want
cases.
scrolls.
Look at
Can I identify the potions?
Okay, let's just go through. Everyone jumps there, so we're going to rotate. So what I heard is you two will look at the scrolls and you like to look at the potions. Is that right? Okay, feel free to.
Okay, so I use whatever device I have at hand, just like this weird sort of scanning thing, and just sort of like.
You've got like the goggles, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I've got the goggles. That's the name of it. Yeah, so I put the goggles on and use my level glass.
So they are exactly as you would think. You can taste test the potion if you'd like, but you think they're probably healing potions.
Okay.
Just standard potions of healing.
Okay.
Just when we're looking at the scrolls, I want to just see, because some wizards are jealous of their knowledge and might have trapped the scroll case. They're in scroll cases.
These scroll cases are very utility. Like,
Right.
you think they look like having that metal. You think they were made here to keep these scrolls dry.
Right,
And that's
okay.
the only reason, really.
Oh, okay, then that's fine. Then, yeah.
Are there 2, did you say?
Yeah.
Can I grab one?
Yeah.
The one
There's
that's
a longer one and a shorter one. Who wants one?
Oh, I have the longer one, please.
Okay. So Matt, I'll go and check just to read it properly.
20.
That's a scroll of spider climb. Probably used to get around this place easier if things get broken.
It's a scroll of spider climb.
Oh, cool.
So
Why
feel free
one?
to look that up.
Just need to know if I can cast that.
It's the second
thing
one as
I
well.
can.
So maybe you can write it down to cast it later if not.
I can't cast it if I can't.
You can.
Yeah, I can as a
check.
wizard, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, you can't. If it's not in your spell book.
If it's not in spell.
If it's not in your spell list, you can't cast it at all.
Okay.
So I'm opening mine up.
Yep.
Having a look, seeing what's the language I recognise.
Maybe an Arcana check to read magic.
Ooh, 21.
It is a spell called Quick Swim, which is that.
Oh, nice. She gets a card, I think.
That's because Spider Climb is a spell that
Yeah,
exists.
no, I know.
For the edition, Quick Swim isn't.
I am going. What they're doing.
That's on the Sorcerer, Bard, and Wizard spell list. So
While they're doing this, I'm going to look around for booze, rations, and/or a hand axe because I lost mine in a zombie's face.
in there is a hand axe. It's a boarding axe. The difference is that if you're climbing with a boarding axe and you get attacked, you're not disadvantaged while you're using it to fight with because it's meant to help you climb and board and fight. So, beyond that, there's a couple of short swords, reed scimitars, and a number of random art objects. A pair of copper chalices, a jacket that you'd use for fencing, that you can kind of put on top of leather armour.
Okay.
There's an ivory, like a carved whale tusk, and like some really nice looking navigators tools like sextant and compass.
Ooh.
And about 40 gold pieces worth of change. It's not all in gold pieces, but I'm going to just say it is. Because it's not too important. It's not like a massive pile of gold pieces that you're trying to.
Upon seeing all this stuff, I'm going to turn to Edward, and I'm like, how does this work? Do these things belong to the nation? Do they belong to the ship?
What do you mean now? Or before?
No, now that we've found them.
Oh, the captain told us these are ours.
Everything.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah. Rules are anything we find that isn't what we've been sent for or actual spoil, they're ours. It's fine.
These are definitely material I can build into something else.
Okay.
Anybody wants anything, take them from the nerd before he breaks it.
I think you can build something else.
I was going to give you, take this, I'm handing you a picture. It's like, somebody, they go on.
I just think that very nice navigation equipment might make a nice present for us to ingratiate ourselves with the crew. Or
They probably have this stuff.
Yeah, they get around by using navigation equipment.
they might not be up to this. Never mind, it was just a suggestion.
I get what you're saying, but doing our job, we don't need to kiss any boots. Doing our job will be enough and not getting in the way. You earn reputation with reputation, not with gifts.
Well, understood. Okay.
You have reputation with reputation.
I'm not a worder.
Oh.
I'm just going to shove the navigational tools into my backpack.
You're trying to do that possibly.
No.
Cuball, do you want anything?
Just glare intently at you.
10,000 no, I'm taking the fencing thing. That'll be gold later.
Are there any ranged weapons in this pile of weapons?
There's a bow. Yeah.
Crossbow bolts, perhaps?
No, it's not crossbow though. It's
Make some kind of armor with that fencing gear.
You mean like armour, like fencing gear?
Yeah, no, but the fencing gear is a bit...
Don't touch my stuff.
Sorry.
If you...
Sorry. Okay. You, I assume, search as much as you can. That's the only place of real interest. Everything else is like cabins or quarters. Do you think there might be more stuff in the room burned but beyond that? Okay. Okay.
I'm guessing we're going to split the gold evenly as well. I think that kind of goes without saying.
Yeah, if anyone wants to do the math on that.
Yeah, I'm not...
You could probably tell him it's 2 gold.
I'm sure, I know I can't count.
I wouldn't
but
be
it's
that
gold.
mean.
It's not a high-
At least got to look right.
Yeah, it's least got to look around.
So just all take 8 gold each.
Cool.
Wait, what about
And we drag the barbarian back to the boat.
was he unconscious again?
He's conscious.
He's just in the background.
He's not looking.
He's picking pieces of glass out of salad.
Yeah, well, he wasn't particularly good. Like last fight, he was down considerably. So he's just taking a breather.
Okay. So we're looking at the
Because
gold
he's not
down.
here. Yeah. Because I'm not cool enough to function yet. 5th time he misses 1 week, you can behead him.
Step up.
I have an axe.
Ezekiel, I'll also share with you about the quick swim camp shop as well. So I'm going to tell them, look, we can swim with this.
Yes.
That's so useful being on a boat.
No. I agree. I've never really swam.
But with this, you could, without even having to learn.
Yeah, swim.
I don't know. I've got an athletics of -1.
Probably not. Then.
Probably
I
not.
kind of lean in and go,
I imagine I can like tread water,
Yeah.
but I'm not very good at swimming.
Yeah, going in any direction.
Yes.
Can
do
we
you
talk
know
about
that
this on-
spell at all?
I've never heard of it.
Okay.
I've never
Okay.
come across it before.
Can we talk about this on the boat? It's getting
Yeah,
cold,
sure.
even with the fire.
Did we know what the building was?
What, the one we were just in?
No, the one that's on fire.
The view on fire is just... Say we've got the living quarters and the cafeteria left, I'd say everything else.
No, just that one.
It's just that one.
Oh, is it?
The rest of it,
That
it's
one's
just
like
like
fire as
everything
well.
else.
That one. Oh,
That's
you mean
more
the-
artwork. Yeah.
Is it completely burned by now? They couldn't go in and salvage
it's-
any of
it's
the books? That's where they keep the books.
Oh.
A single tear.
Yeah.
Okay.
By then.
Cool.
While we're on the boat, I'm just going to go, if we could use that scroll and the fencing arm we found, I could fashion some kind of
Together.
swimming arm.
What rule did we say about touching my stuff?
I know,
10
but
minutes.
if you could consider it.
No.
He's going to be throwing
What?
my axe up and down.
We'll find a way to make this work. I'm
Yeah,
gonna try
yeah.
this one.
I just think we can make some kind of swimming gear, like not
You
just
mean
like
like some
No, it's-
swimming armor?
yes, yeah, like that, yeah. Make some kind of
But
Can
another
you?
spell it
You think
can't
if
just-
you read the scroll, you could make it without?
Yeah.
Without that.
So-
It's just- I know what you're talking about.
Yes,
You don't need
yeah.
to waste the scroll to make it.
Okay.
So you want basically you want to find a way to learn how to swim.
No, I know how to swim. I'm not Ezekiel. Come on. Just like it's just I find it
A single
difficult with his
team.
backpack.
It's good because if he said yes, I was going to push him off the boat.
Cool. Okay. So you leave and return to the boat. Trial is waiting for you on the side of the ship, watching. You think he's been watching what's going on.
So he saw the antics of the table.
He saw it at distance.
Yeah.
He's like, "What is? Never mind."
What did he say at distance?
You get hit by a table.
Oh no, he was going to try and knock my way out.
It's fine. You were behind the stone from his direction, luckily. My quarters, he says, as you kind of draw a thingy, and then just vanishes off the deck.
I guess we're following him.
Yeah, you know, don't keep him waiting.
Yeah, let's give him a report.
Do I still have blood all over my face?
No.
Prestidigitation. I'm on myself.
Mending.
Everyone looks great.
Ditto.
More back as you sort of go past, he raises a hand. You'll survive!
Can I try and high five him?
Yeah, it goes badly because he's like quite high. He doesn't have great dexterity, so you almost get face planted.
Oh no.
But
Takes away the last 3 hit points.
I'm seeing that.
Most of you survived! And then you
Kills.
That would be amazing.
yeah, so
That would be amazing.
he's waiting. The captain's waiting in his cabin. You've not been in the cabin before, really. There's a big map laid out on the table of Tyros and the surrounding waters. It's green inside, and it's kind of. You expect there to be like a homely atmosphere, but not really. It's more like a mission office. His office is very small, and there are paintings on the walls of sort of various famous sea battles. Not that you know any of them, you might know a few, but you kind of can't recognise them through the art because your appreciation isn't too high.
Drawings.
So, but there are various sea battles in which the nation won. But beyond that, there's no affectations. For such a sort of outwardly dashing character, this is a very matter-of-fact place to live. Come in, take seats.
Dead.
Yeah.
So none of you are dead, that's a good start.
None of us.
You want to let me know what happened?
You want? Okay. Well, Stonehome was attacked, as you might have guessed. No survivors that we see. From when we first got there, there was some magic type bloke, but they seem to have gone, and then lots of zombies.
And a crab.
Yeah. He's alone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Equinas is dead.
It's a shame, but
Yeah.
I didn't particularly like the man. No. But it's still a shame.
Yeah, well, he's dead, but I did still have a chat with him. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he rose up at see-through.
He was always very single-minded.
Yeah,
It surprises me less than I'm.
right. Had some important information. I think he says it was the coin that attacked. The reason the coin attacked is that, and I'd keep this to yourself if I were you, but your ship, Druit just thought to be dead. Druit is thought to be dead. Druit is something else.
Okay. Druid is dead.
And as I said, in my opinion,
Do we know how?
no. I don't know how Equidas knew. Towards the end of talking to him, he got really confused. I think he was just barely holding on to whatever was left of him.
Why does he not tell us these things?
Because I don't like repeating myself.
We're quite in the middle here.
we set sail for conference.
Aye.
Captain. I believe, because just so I know, none of us did an investigation check, to be fair.
Yeah.
They seemed very interested in the vault, although we didn't find anything beyond a few trinkets, and pull out the accounts book, put that on the table, and the accounts book. To be fair, if there was anything hidden, we didn't really look.
The accounts book is probably what they were after. The coin are notorious smugglers, and they want to know where our shipments are going. It's likely that that was a more precious treasure to them than anything else, so well done for saving it. And he kind of thunk. You've done well today. Perhaps not amazingly, but competently, and that's what I care about right now. No one died, which means I can trust you all to at least keep each other alive. Now, we're setting sail for Conference. That's a collection of islands that are the pirate nation home. The reason we're setting sail is because Druit is dead. For those of you who aren't Sam, then Druit is our king. Which means things are going to get difficult from here on in, but
I suggest
opportunities will arise.
I suggest keeping your mouth shut in front of the crew. If they find out there's a power vacuum, things could get really messy around here.
Very quickly.
If the fuse is gonna go off, but I wouldn't suggest making it go off any sooner.
So king of like
The nation.
the nation.
The High Captain.
We're not as uncivilized as you think.
Oh well, that's not what I was trying to suggest.
So, our leader is dead, we have to go and inform our spiritual leader. And then things are going to get sticky.
Just outside of this, do we know if there's another hierarchy of like obviously in typical monarchies it's like king, prince or something. Is there any-
You have no idea how it works. He has some idea, but he never really paid attention.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Are you asking trial that?
I wouldn't. It's not something I would ask.
But yeah, you have no idea because the nation's kind of almost secretive.
Yeah.
So keep your mouth shut about it. We'll sail to conference. You'll have some time down, but I'm going to need you to speak to our other leader. Okay. Prepare yourselves. Go ship. Do your thing. He says, in a more competent fashion. Go. Return to your stations. Is basically what it tells you. He does not look too happy.
I'm just gonna go.
I'm gonna hang back. Don't hang out with you nerds anyway. I'm gonna hang back and kind of as they walk out, kind of close the door.
I'm gonna kind of linger in the doorway, just on the other side.
You have words for me, Mr. North?
Aye. Druit's dead. The Vathonis did it.
So your father's still alive?
I don't know if there's anything that can kill that man.
Well, hopefully we'll never meet the vengeance in open waters. It doesn't surprise me there was no love lost between the king and your father. We'll let them know that. You'll come with me to the centre.
Aye.
You ever been in the captain's table?
No.
Okay. Well, that's where we're going. Basically, the next 2 weeks pass on the ocean. Is there anything you guys want to do while you're on the ocean? Just nothing comes of this. The ship just assume you're going home. So unless you want to tell anyone, do anything.
I did want to find a brief moment when we're all together again.
Yep.
Afterwards, just to. You lot are all right. You did a lot better in that fight than the last one. And some people might think so far I've been a bit of a dick.
Some people? Every person?
Just let the man speak.
I know this is all new to you, and I have no idea why any of you want to be here, but if you do have questions or need to learn how to row an effing boat and you don't want to look like complete idiots in front of the rest of the crew, come and talk to me, and as long as you don't annoy me, I'll help. From here on out, we're a team, and if you look like complete idiots, then so do I. So, yeah, and I'll walk off and get horrifically drunk because I had to do a nice thing.
Before you walk off, I'll be like, yeah! And just kind of
air you.
I'll put the bottle in your hand and then walk away.
Okay, we're just going to go around the table, cover what everyone's doing in the 2 weeks. You are sailing in basically open waters. Let me just fetch a map so that you guys can see. I'll just put this on the screen. Essentially, you're currently up here, and you're sailing the conference, which is there.
Okay.
So it's just 2 weeks of sailing from Stone's conference. Okay, so
I would be building my gear.
Okay.
Level 2.
Do you want to explain to everyone else what the hell you end up building?
Yeah, so I kind of end up. I probably at some point borrow your quick swim scroll, and after like a bit of ingenuity and.
Maybe an Arcana check just not to step up and press the scroll.
Don't be like that! So
Oh
mean!
god, he's got to roll a dice.
Yeah, but I've got to roll it twice.
That's fine, no, that's okay.
Okay. So I'm basically making easy switches, things like steampunk scuba gear. So it's like this, like load of pipes, all sorts of things. It looks quite heavy. Yeah, man. It looks heavy, but it's actually quite light on. It's no heavier than my leather armor, and it kind of just goes on top. And I'm just gonna start wearing that all the time because it's an easy way that if I fall in water, I'm not gonna be in trouble.
Big deal. Wearing it, waddling around the ship.
You
Yeah.
sound like you've got a tin can on your head as well.
I was thinking more like the the big round globe thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's like midsummer as well. So
Yeah.
you're just occasionally just like any excess weight on you through the journey is completely stripped off. Like because you've just been going like
Yeah, I mean he was already
You were already
skinny guy.
you know.
Does he come out like
he's
six
just
pack?
you are the most ripped you've ever been in your life. Like you're
Yeah, it
just-
probably would be with all the friggin'
Yeah,
like,
You're bigger
and
than
you're doing it
by the end of it.
full on like heavy gear.
Does that mean I can have extra abilities on there?
No, it does not. But it at least means you're a little bit.
Your strength caps at 20.
My summer look is coming on.
Yeah.
You'll look great for the calendar.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Mr.
you're also like
Jan.
one level of exhausted. As
I'm also like, but like I'm not wearing my backpack as well.
Yeah, obviously,
It's
yeah.
like I've managed to realizing that I'm going to be going about a lot more. I've managed to like pare things down. I've probably given up a lot of materials that, to be honest, never had use to. You know how you have that box at home
Yeah.
full of cables?
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I've thrown away. I'm just like, I'll definitely use this cable one day. No, it's not.
Can you make me a charisma save?
Is this to make sure that
no,
those cables
charisma
aren't
save?
Yeah.
Oh, I should just not talk. I should be like, I built the thing. That's all that happened.
What did you roll?
12,
Is that what did you roll? When you
14 minus 2.
Oh, okay.
So, Grub and some of the other crew members, like the Hobgoblin contingent of helmsmen and that, find you hilarious.
Good.
The good thing is, with that score, you managed to play it off as a kind of like you're in on the joke. Just about.
Oh, wow.
And therefore, you don't become their best friend or anything, but you're also not the guy they bully.
Yeah. Thanks for just like taking me back to middle school.
Yeah,
It's just
absolutely,
like
yeah.
being.
I like how I just said, if you look like an idiot, so do I.
I immediately googled Stephen Stupid.
It's the waddling,
And
man.
where?
You can't get over the waddling. You see them do it on the top deck.
It's got large metal flippers as well. Can't quite walk.
Yeah.
Imagine the first time he wears it, he's doing like, whoa.
It's only after you like show them how it works in the water.
Yeah,
they're
like-
kind of like, oh, I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
that's my main.
Yeah, that's all good. Okay.
Okay, well, when I get the scroll back from him,
Yeah.
I'm going to spend a bit of time studying it, maybe trying to learn it.
Okay. Of course, you're a sorcerer, aren't you? Yeah, that's difficult because you can't technically learn it. So
That's
you
a
can
wizard
cast it.
thing.
Yeah, but that's it.
Can't cast it. What?
It's on the list.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I
So
thought
you
you
can
said
cast
it
it,
wasn't.
so you can cast a scroll. It gives you the chance to learn it once, use it once.
Oh, okay.
Or when you level up, you can pick it as a spell that you learn.
So I'll just keep this.
So when you next get a cantrip, you can
Yeah.
choose that.
In theory, scribing a scroll to a spell book requires an arcana check. So if you do an arcana check now,
I don't think I'd have a spell book though, would I?
She doesn't have a
no, but what I mean is this is you still reading the spell,
Okay.
because reading the spell sometimes you can accidentally cast it. That's how scribing works, if that makes sense. So I'm just trying to balance the thing. So maybe an arcana check.
Oh, great.
Great, fine. So if you want to, you can, at any point from now till the end of the campaign, you can add quick swim as one of your chosen spells.
So I can also use the scroll at any point.
Yes.
Just to cast it.
Yeah, or give it away or whatever.
I was going to say, with me and Ezekiel and with her as well, like, I'm scribing
Yeah.
all the time.
He can write in his
all
spell
the
book
time.
and give it back to her if he
Yeah.
makes the correct roll.
Like, we would have helped her out.
You can't. I thought you.
Believe me, I've researched it.
Oh,
because
okay.
There's a luchador in my other game who keeps trying to write scrolls to his book and then sell the scroll on. So
Right.
there is a rule system for all of that.
Oh, wow.
For me, people on Reddit and people at home, what does the spell do?
It's
You
quick-
could destroy
quick
it in the
swim.
process.
Um,
in which case you can't use it.
So when you cast a spell, your body takes on a bluish hue, and you move quickly and easily through water, so good for a pirate. You gain a natural swim speed that's 10 feet quicker than a normal speed, and are treated like a naturally waterborne creature, suffering no disadvantages for fighting in or underwater. You can't breathe underwater. That's the only thing it doesn't do.
Okay.
So it's basically like your armor bomb.
Scuba gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without the scuba.
Without the actual gear.
Yeah, you can read
So
it.
you're
Just
gonna
less cool.
So you're gonna look like a sapien TM when you cast it. You're gonna be green and you're gonna be
He
blue.
doesn't need to cast it because
No,
of the
no,
way
it's
the
all
game
good.
works. It's
Ah.
a class feature.
Hellboy TM.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically, I just put spells into gear.
Oh.
That's what I'm about.
So I feel I decided to just embrace pirate life now that I'm stuck on the boat
Okay.
for 2 weeks. Not
Yeah.
got any
It's like
sleep.
a year. Yeah.
I'm with some tips made from Sam. I'm going to take up a few new hobbies,
Okay.
including gambling and
Okay.
drinking.
The first thing I do when if you want me to teach you gambling is suggest strip poker.
I'm not thinking that. I'll learn to play.
Yeah, I mean,
I said suggest. I didn't say you'd say yes.
Maybe-
Can you
maybe we'll start
it
with
for
this.
a roll, not a save, because you're not avoiding, just roll out of
22.
That's 2 epic rolls in succession.
I had 3 already.
I feel like you've stolen all of Sam's luck.
Yes, I love to
You rolled double digits.
You make friends among the crew. People like Hanson, who runs the gambling stuff. They all kind of get to like you, if that makes sense. So you fit in well. Your turn.
Apart from flirting with Dario, I'm weirdly solemn, probably, after stuff he's learned for the rest of it. Like, not full on dark and edgy in a corner,
Yeah.
but not the usual boisterous thing. That fencing gear, is that like just for training, or would that do anything?
It
there?
adds +1 to your AC if you put it on over a light armor.
Okay, so I'll put that on overall. Yeah, I'll do that. But yeah, unless, like I say, they want a hand or usual working, then it's going to be a quiet one.
You, as you're keeping to yourself, One morning when you're kind of waking up, you hear, why don't you take a moment to just walk, maybe check the crow's nest? Yeah.
Okay. I'll do what he says. He's been right so far.
You go up and kind of relieve the presence. You're at the top of the ship.
Yeah.
And no praying eyes here. And you feel like a weird shift of weight off your shoulder that you're not really aware you're carrying. And this thing appears like that you're not aware of where it is, and then it suddenly almost mists into being. It's about this big, green, like large bug eyes. It looks like a cross between a cricket and like some kind of leech.
Jiminy the Cricket.
It's a bit weird. When you said that. So, Master, this is me.
Intelligence is...
No. I can grant you things like intelligence and power and anything your heart desires if you just follow my whim.
What's a whim?
My suggestion.
Oh, okay. What are you? You look weird.
I like Jimmy. It's a good name.
Okay.
I am very strange. I understand. It comes from my planar origins.
I don't know what that means, but it's nice to see that you're real and the drink hasn't finally got to me.
You are talking to a green creature from beyond the plains.
I did also just shout at a crab.
Yes, you did. So you will accept me.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you helped so far, and you're not an idiot like the rest of them.
No,
So
I'm far from it.
yeah, so sure. I'm going to shake his. Is he like shake a tiny hand?
He kind of looks at you. I don't really touch
Oh, thank God.
flesh things.
Okay. Is it just floating there?
No, it's stood on the
Okay.
corner of the great vest.
Makes sense.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Oh, yay!
That's your invisible and non-invisible Jiminy Mini.
Oh, Jiminy! My birthday tomorrow, I think.
Ah.
Thank you. It's in Christmas wrapping paper.
Yeah, because we ain't got it together at our house.
It's fine, as far as they know, with the t-shirt and this, it's Christmas right now.
Yeah, we record them out of order, so this is completely normal.
So yeah, that's your invisible and that's your non-invisible, just to freak you out.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
get it to the camera.
Yeah.
We're not gonna tell you what product it is. Because
Yeah, it's a...
Don't, because
Is it a business?
Where's the sewers? Okay.
Now they know!
Come on, you don't want to be associated with this product.
It's a Poldor's Parvulus Pompapa.
There we go.
Yeah. But yeah, it's awesome.
It's Jiminy.
Thank you. Jiminy!
Other products are available.
That's invisible Jiminy. And that's visible Jiminy.
It cheers you up to have a friend.
Yeah.
Even if he is strange and weird and small.
Fine, so am I.
He crawls back onto your thing and vanishes again. Okay, Matt, what are you doing this week? Not Matt, Ezekiel.
Yeah. So probably expanding a little more on sort of what he was doing before we went to Stonehaven, which is sort of like trying to get him, but more with probably like the intellectual side of running this ship. So sort of like maps, navigation, the sort of thing.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more in his wheelhouse.
Okay.
Probably, I forgot the name of him, but the runesmith.
Nord.
Yeah, probably just, well, not muscling him in this territory or trying to make friends with him.
Yeah,
Because he's a man.
He's a really
magic
jovial bloke.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, just join us, lad. Come see. And you kind of get invited up. When it's clear that you have a talent for it, you're kind of invited up to the top deck. And you get to kind of know Nord a bit better. He's a dwarf he's called Nord Bloodless because he doesn't have a clan anymore.
Okay.
So that's like his outcast name.
Yeah.
The snow of dwarves.
Yeah, pretty much. You get to know Grog a bit better, the Hobgoblin Helmsman, because obviously handing in maps is something you end up doing. Kieran, the first mate as well, who is an entirely humorless bastard.
Yeah.
You sort of get to know him. You get a feeling he keeps himself
Yeah.
to himself.
And then, he will seek out Edward, probably one night or something, and in a show of tact, he will probably wait until there's no one around, or he's on his own, or something like that. Look, I'm sorry if I'm prying, but you haven't seen yourself since we were at Stonehaven, and I was just wondering did you lose any friends there, or
People I knew of, none that I knew. Have you ever heard of Conference?
how have I ever heard from?
It's infamous in Taros. It's known
Right.
as it's got a
Essentially, I know it
You
as
think-
Mos Eisley's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an awful place. It's if you imagine how the Americans viewed Moscow during the Cold War.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nothing good.
Yeah. So it's not somewhere. It's not a trip that you're excited about going to. All right.
That's fair enough.
And you wait till we're alone, won't you? And if Druit really is dead, then it's not going to be calm waters for very long.
That's fair enough. I suppose the other thing is, if you do need anyone to talk to, I know you have a probably deservedly low opinion of our skill sets and very much question why we're out here, but we can offer you other things, I suppose. And
I'm going to stop you. I do appreciate it, but you're not really my type. I know it can get lonely being out on the water for a while, but I'd more prefer if we were just a team. I'm just getting used to the whole be a team with you guys thing, so I'm not really looking for that kind of step. But thank you.
I would say I'm flattered that you thought I was coming on to you, but I did mean for friendship and, not to be too harsh on it, considering you have you like to try and make people feel comfortable. We could offer you intelligence.
Are you trying to say I'm not intelligent?
I'll leave that for you to discover on your own, and then sort of walk away.
Walk away.
You went into that we're gonna make friends, and you came out oh yeah, easy.
Is this what a plane crash feels like?
That conversation went down here.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, next.
So I've spent the time quite reserved to myself.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't get to meet much of the crew last time, so
No,
yeah, it's a bit
I've kind of just
kept to yourself.
Yeah. Have I noticed any changes with my Hourglass?
No.
Nothing at all. So as we're getting closer to conference, there's no change. Okay. That would be something that I'm quite weary of. I think.
I'm sorry, I'll wait for you done.
Yeah, to be honest, just yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, I think I was going to mention, at some point when I'm nearby Samet, maybe it's in the evening or something. I don't know how obvious is ritual magic. Do you have to in this world? Do you have to get out candles and incense and chant for 10 minutes?
If it's full ritual, then yes.
Yes. Okay, then I won't do that.
Okay.
Because I was going to cast. No, actually, I will cast detect magic. When he's nearby, but I'm not going to be next to him,
Yeah.
and then get closer to him because he seems to be suspiciously protective of his hourglass.
Well, Semit himself glows slightly.
So Semit's magical.
Well, because of the fact that he's a divine caster.
Oh, okay, right.
The hourglass glows much more strongly.
Mhm.
You think it's a focal point for his divine magic.
That's cool.
But you're not. It also has a weird. It has kind of two magical effects on it. One is necromancy,
Okay.
and another one is divination.
Okay.
So you're not sure why, but those are the two things that
Yeah.
are on it. The ship is there's lots of little bits. Like no one's noticed what you're doing really,
Yeah.
because like the only other arcane caster is there,
Mhm.
and the runesmith, who I assume you kind of do it when the rune master's asleep. The rune master glows, all his tats glow.
Yeah.
Various bits of the ship, like various members of the crew are carrying stuff. Morlach's chest, the big quartermaster
Yeah.
thing, massive glow from in there.
Right.
Something they've got a big gun.
Right.
Also, on deck at the time is Viz, the lizard man who doesn't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
And his weapons glow. He's got like a sword and a
Okay.
shield that look like he found them in a swamp. Like they're just dirt covered.
Yeah.
And they both glow.
Okay then.
Various other people, like you guys, what you found and what you know about each other.
Okay. In that case then, I will go and talk to Seven.
Okay.
One night again, probably try and catch you alone, and just be sort of like I know you're quite protective of and sort of gestures to the rough area on his person where you.
I'll look down.
Yeah.
Back up.
And you obviously don't have to tell me or any of us anything, but I suppose what I'm saying is there's a burden shared or understood by your fellows could reduce the strain on yourself.
There is no torment to holding this.
Oh, well, that's good then.
Just bow my head lightly and heal it.
Probably stand there for about like 30 seconds.
Real awkward moment.
Like painfully awkward moment, and then just sort of like walk away.
Maybe a perception check.
Okie dokies.
A conversation went better than your last one.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, you tried to make me feel belittled, so I was like, well, fuck you, dude. That is
14.
just perception, yeah, 14.
As you're walking away across the deck, you spot Zane the drow.
Right.
And she's like just sat on the keel watching the two of you, and she's just grinning her head up. Just like the awkwardness gives her pleasure in a way, because she's not allowed to inflict pain. She's taking every
Amazing.
Yeah.
What was the name of the drow?
Zane.
Oh, is she the cleric?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she was brown.
Yeah, she's a dark elf, but she's a black elf, not a
Give her a
dark
sneak it out.
elf. So there are two types of dark elf in this world. The black elves are kind of the drow. They live underground. You don't see them very often. No one's really sure what they do or who they are. The dark elves they live in the north, and they're called the Vanir, and they kind of worship shadows, like almost like trickster god who's a bit like Loki.
She's a black elf, right?
Yeah.
So it's like weird to see her.
Yeah, it's really weird, like especially on a ship. Like most of them live underground and never come above ground, so it's really odd. Okay, couple of days pass. I just realised I've gone to the bathroom, so I won't give too much description. But you enter such a water where you see over the course of the day the towers, two towers either side. They look like huge, sort of haphazardly made siege towers, and you guess that they guard conference really. Those of you with arcane training know that not only are there like ballista weaponry on there, but you can see almost like arcane circles built near the tops of the towers so that casters can draw power. And you float between them, and as you do, a ship breaks off
from one of them and starts to follow your course. It's as big as your ship, and it's painted black. The sails kind of drift funnily in the wind, and as you course towards conference, the huge black ship gets closer and closer, and then starts to join course with you. None of the people on the ship seem too panicked by this. And as it draws closer and closer, you can read on the side of the ship, Carrion's call in massive letters. On the ship you can see people working, a variety of figures, mostly dressed in weird outfits. Like the difference isn't normal. Your crew are dressed in clothes. These guys are dressed in like a sea bounty. Like some of them have armor made of giant crab shells or like seaweed kelp, like sort of kilts. Yeah, that's the one.
Clearly should be on that ship.
And one of them is holding a sword that is blatantly like a swordfish's. At the helm, you can see as the ships draw close, there are two figures, sorry. Holding the helm itself is a guy bedecked in barnacles, like they're all over the place on top of his head. He has a trident stuffed down sort of back of his thing, and he's steering the ship, laughing his head off. And next to him is just a figure dressed in head to toe in black. She's dressed as if she's a widow, with the veil and everything, just stood very still. And they hoist a flag, and you see the figure at the helm wave, like visibly at the crew, like a complete nutter, like ha ha! At which Kyle's like, yes, Hagar, yes. And it becomes very clear the ship is just following you in to check you are who you're supposed to be. And then conference the next day appears on the horizon. A collection of islands sort of strung together by a similar makeup to this, where like bits of old boats have just been like plonked between them, and you have to find the right way in. You feel like the course you get is very left, right. You know that under the water near conference lurks all kind of dangers. Like it's built on not a man-made reef, but like there are bits of reef, and then they've added blades and all sorts to snag ships.
Old boats and stuff.
It's purposely an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, the more people try and get through and don't know how, the more dangerous it gets.
And then once you get into the bit where people live, again you have to navigate to the right island that you're looking for, and you seem to be heading right for the centre. And as you pass, there's whole huge boats that people are living on, and sort of land-bound, swinging bits of machinery that kind of rotate on their own. You go past one bit that is just like, there's a ship parked in this like junkyard, bits that obviously people have just found and thrown away, and you can see like a selection of gnomes poring over the stuff with this weird looking ship they've got that like has almost like sails on it. As you pass that, they kind of and like you can see a proper like horn go off. It's a steam powered one that goes off, and you head right into the middle.
I was gonna say, here's how at this point it's probably like a child just running from each side of the ship. It's like, oh, that's so cool, and then just run to the other side.
Trying to explain how it works.
Yeah, just like waddling the pants up and waddling. Well, like a toddler then, basically.
As you arrive into the main island, you can see there's a huge building, circular thing, and it's got 5 ships coming off it like wrecks. They're just on the top printed in like burned letters, Captain's Table, and parked outside it is what I'm going to describe as a Viking longship, like just there, and the crew kind of wandering around. Looks like a collection of humans and orcs, and they're being served by like this seafood banquet. You can see it by a huge giant white-skinned creature, huge beard, and he appears to be serving them. And you port near enough to that ship, which appears to be called the Foe Hammer, and you get down. And Sorrel's like, no one goes near the captain's table. You have an hour in which to do your business, then I need you to return to me, just in case I have need of you. Sam, you are with me.
Before you go, have fun, because it can be a lot of fun. But when I look you dead in the eye, don't piss anyone off, because they won't be mad at you, they'll just kill you.
Okay. Have fun.
Just feel like a squeaking sound.
Yeah, the suit inflates.
Yeah.
It goes.
Okay, you all splitting off and doing anything? We'll go this way around this time.
I'm just going to kind of follow the pack.
Okay.
What they do, I guess.
Cool.
Kind of just keep it to myself.
Being the extreme social butterfly that Ezekiel is, and with the proclamation that annoying people will result in death, he decides to stay on the ship.
Okay. I have a feeling like none of you are going anywhere. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, we're all just sort of like,
I was going to suggest that because we'd probably be really cautious, but I would be champing at the bit to have a look around.
Okay.
That would travel as a group. If my character could persuade any of you, which is my charisma, probably not.
I'm going to stay with you because I'm worried
Keep my
for
eye.
you.
Yeah.
So wherever you go, I'll probably
Okay.
go. And I also do want to explore.
Okay.
Are you guys coming with us?
I just want to look around a bit. Like, I'm not gonna get involved. I promise. I can't listen to Sam. That's fine.
That is fine. I am offering to stay on the boat.
Okay, I'll tell you what we see. It's gonna be amazing. Okay.
Of course.
You're headed straight for that junkyard, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hopefully see you guys later. We'll hopefully see you later.
The best of luck.
Come on.
Okay, I'm going.
Are you going with that or staying with
I'm just staying on the boat.
Is there any marine life like visible from the waters?
Not really,
No,
no.
that's fine.
Although, make me a. No, you just see it actually. If you're looking at the water, briefly there is marine life.
Right.
A few dolphins come like really close up to the shore, and then this crew of orcs come out of nowhere, one of the buildings nearby, and they have like these grey creatures on chains, like running on four legs, that look humanoid, and they come out with spears and they just annihilate them, drag them onto the bay, gut them, and then like laugh, grin, and then take them, and they start taking them over and you can see in the distance there's this boat,
Right.
this huge fat boat,
Right.
and you can see like from here this swinging carcass of what you assume to be a whale is
Right.
huge.
So, what happens is Ezekiel opens up his notebook and starts sketching one of the dolphins, and then the horror unfolds before him. And he's left on the boat, just like.
A single tear.
The crew of the Foe Hammer nearby also look kind of disgusted by this display. So like some of the orcs even on the crew are like,
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Okay.
And one of them looks over you and says,
Savages.
yeah.
With their life.
Yeah, pretty fucking much.
blanket around you.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
Just there.
It is brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
Yeah, they were just frolicking.
Yeah.
They're frolicking.
Yeah.
Never
Okay.
seen a dolphin before. A dolphin in a book. They had babies.
Too far. Possibly. It's okay. Okay. You guys go out to the junkyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are two ships parked there. The ship I described before, which has in metal plate stamped the innovation.
That seems exciting.
Yeah, and a crew of gnomes are like running around from it, grabbing as much as they can, while a human stands somewhere. You can tell he's a room master by the tattoos on him, or he's kind of frazzled. He's like, "Get that! The captain will want that! The professor will need it! Get that! That's glowing! That's glowing!" You can tell he's like casting magic. And they're scarfing around like an organised team. The other one is a more standard ship called the Dawn Seeker. And its crew are they're being more selective. They're picking up stuff, looking at it, and putting it back down. They don't seem to be going for any heavy machinery or invention type stuff. It's more like they're looking for weird stuff. And they appear to be led by someone who looks like a librarian. In fact, make me a history check.
Both of us or just...
Just him because of his background.
11.
Okay, so
Who's back?
Whatever you roll is now 15. I have divination. I can change people's rolls.
You're not far away?
Yep, I believe.
yeah.
Let me just double check the
How
classes
do
of
you
it.
even have to make a roll?
It's just a thing.
Called portents, isn't it?
It's
just double check.
I will double check.
I'll have you to justify it a little bit, like you maybe before and say like you're gonna meet.
Okay, yeah, just do like a flashback.
Yeah. Meanwhile, can you maybe Arcana check while he's doing that?
Cookies go right into the top.
Oh, my luck's gone. You took my luck, dude.
Sorry. Actively changing the fate.
Okay. As you're looking, you spot something really cool. Like it's something.
Oh no, I have to be able to see them.
Yeah, you think it's like a crystal ball, and as you go to reach it, like a huge figure steps in front of you. He's wearing like a black mask, and like a singlet, like a big black singlet. He's like, "Excuse me," and he picks up the crystal ball, puts it in his bag. Madame,
What's that ball?
It's an artifact of great import.
What does it do?
It is a seeing stone. Thank you. And he starts to walk off.
back towards the Dawn Seeker.
Does he look quite tough?
You have a sneaking suspicion he might be a lucha mage.
You know what, I'm gonna let that go. Yeah. I kind of feel like I was like,
Okay.
So 8.
Yeah, he's not going to
Arcana -3.
Huh?
I thought you said you rolled an 11.
no.
No?
Rolled an 8.
No, I got 11 in total, but yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, then you do recognise her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She's an ex-teacher at your university.
Oh, right.
Not when you were there, but you
I was going to say,
recognise
does she recognise him and scream?
No. Her name was Arista Lawkeeper, and she kind of just left one day. You're not quite sure why.
Okay. Did I like her?
You didn't know her.
Didn't know her.
Yeah. You remember hearing Arista Lawkeeper. Arista.
So I'm just. So although all the junk excites me at moments, like beyond imagination, I am just gonna go, Ballista? And just sort of approach her. Like, hey, didn't you?
Do I know you? She kind of pushes the glasses back on.
I went to the academy where you used to teach. I think I was after you left, but yeah, what are you doing here?
Living.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. Didn't you kind of like just leave one day? What made you come here?
I fell in love. Why are you asking me personal questions?
You're literally as charismatic as a crotch full of bees.
Never mind, just doesn't matter, just good to see somebody from the academy outside.
What's your name, young man?
Oh, sorry, yes, I'm Hissa Hollerith. Yes.
Of the Holleriths.
Yes, yeah, I mean, you probably know my father, and mother.
I'm aware of them attempting to get you inducted, yes.
Yes. Yeah. Good to see you. All the best. So what's going on here?
The Dawn Seeker has come back from a long journey, and we're looking for artifacts for our next journey.
I probably have a nosy around myself.
Thank you. Yes. It's best that you leave now.
And then after sort of a little staring into space, I'm sort of suddenly gonna be like, oh my goodness, and go chasing after the Legion Master.
Mm-hmm.
Is he easy enough to find?
Yeah, he's gigantic. he's like maybe 350 pounds. He's probably
Okay.
about
Yeah.
7 foot tall.
All right, yeah, very
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
He's the guy wearing the full face man.
So he's not like all on
No, he appears to just be like taking in the sights. He's very casual because like who's gonna mess with him?
I'm gonna go say hi, ask him how he's
Looks like a
doing.
necromancer.
I'm fine.
Cool.
Your name?
Astaria.
El Grande Especial.
Nice to meet you. Grande?
Grande Especial.
Grande Special. Nice. So
That's like a great
about
meal.
the sea stuff, can it see anything? That's really cool.
I have yet to identify and find out what it will do, but I have heard of it in books.
Do you want some help?
Not really.
Okay, well, basically I'm looking for somebody, and I would pay good money to know where they are.
Ah,
So if it will,
how much good money? He crosses his arms.
if the seeing stone will work, and if it could give me a location for where I might find this person, 20 gold?
20 gold for my services.
How much?
El Grande Especial.
How much would you expect for your services?
200
Well,
an hour.
Well, this would only take like 5 minutes, so round that down, and that's about 20 gold.
I think it would take longer.
Okay. Well, I don't exactly have 200 gold, so can we call it 50 gold?
Perhaps we can work something out. Perhaps you have something I want, or a service I need, or an IOU of some description.
That
I am a reasonable sort. My name is known wide and far as a friendly face.
Yeah. Yeah, cool, yeah. So, great. I would be happy to owe you.
What ship are you with?
Ship I'm with.
Your ship's called the Risk Taker.
The risk taker.
Ah, okay. I will deign to visit it one day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Turns. Cape.
Let's dive out of the way of the cake before it.
Swans off.
What does his cape look like?
It's just black.
Just black. As if it's in like blue with red trim.
No,
gold
no.
bits.
He seems to just be like, he does black.
Oh,
That's it.
That's his thing.
So I'm going to return to Nick.
Yeah,
How did
that's
your
what I
how did
translate
your
to.
reunion go?
Oh, yeah, don't you know? It's just,
I thought she might
It
be more talkative.
sounds like a great meal.
Not very much luck with people being talkative, very.
no,
It's weird.
that's pretty rubbish.
Well, should we go see if we can find some
No,
stuff?
oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing.
Great.
I'm just in the junkyard trying to find stuff now.
So bad at talking.
Yes, he just
I wonder what the common denominator of him not having much luck is.
So I'm just going to stick with it and just
Okay, cool.
sit in
You find odds and ends, but nothing that's going to be like a magic item out of the D&G or anything. But nice thousands. Yeah.
there. Anything that I can sell for gold?
Yeah. Maybe 25 gold pieces worth of stuff.
What about me with my ability to recognise anything? Okay.
I'll take it.
I'm just assuming that you sell them and get the gold.
Yeah, I will. I'll just because there are people here who are purposely like, oh right, that's not just junk, it's and if you can explain and demonstrate, they will take it.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, the captain's table, this huge tower, 2 iron doors. You ready?
Aye.
I need you to tell your truth. Captain Jaspers does not take anything but your truth. So you tell him everything you know.
The full truth?
Everything you need to know. Don't omit anything.
Alright.
Also, don't touch the girls. The doors open, they swing inwards, and you're expecting like this grand like bar because like it's the captain's table. Right?
Yeah.
What you get instead, as you walk into the darkness, is like an internal waterfall. It's like it goes round like that, and then there's waterfalls pouring down into a gigantic pool at the bottom that moves of its own accord, like it's tidal but round. And it glows weirdly, like it's underlit. And around
Like
the
a really
waterfall-
fancy spa type deal.
yeah, around the waterfalls are these blue women with like slightly elven but worse ears tied back. Their hair is white, but like as it comes to the bottom, it's like sea foam at the bottom. And they're dressed in blue silk that just about covers everything it needs to.
Attractive?
Kind of, but
Ted
also
Edwards.
alien. Like they've got black eyes and gills.
Ted Edward.
And yeah, okay,
Yeah.
if you hit anything.
Yeah.
And they come over.
Okay.
They put down glasses and trays that have like almost like food, but it's like sponges and seafood, and the glasses are of water. And Trial just drinks the water. You can see him almost become refreshed instantly. We speak with Jaspers. One of the women nods and then dives into the pool.
Okay. I'll do this. I'll wink at one as they go.
They kind of and then move away, like they don't have much contact with menfolk. And they just kind of stand awkwardly for a minute.
Yeah, I'll drink the water and try to throw
As the water hits you, you feel entirely refreshed. Like the hard travel that you've been doing just vanishes.
Okay.
You're aware of something dark filling the pool, something gigantic emerging.
Okay, I'll kind of almost self-consciously kind of hand go towards the spot where I feel Jiminy tugging a lot of the time.
And I'll just step back. And then from the water lifts this huge head. It's got a tricorn hat on, slightly blue skin, green beard full of sea creatures. And this huge pirate crawls into view and stands, definitely a giant, quite large. But like full on like tattoos, beard, captain's coat which is soaked, it's dripping wet. And he just stands, "What be, lads?" "We'd have words with you, Captain Jaspers." "Ah, speak your truth." And he looks at the pair of you.
One step forward. Edward North, Captain.
Yeah, I'm aware of you, Mr. North.
I'm sorry to hear that. We've recently been to Stonehome. Looks crap. It's been ransacked and pillaged by the coin.
Ah, my heart weeps for such a destruction of industry, and speaks vengeance to Stonehome's destroyers. Call on Druit, send forth our fleets.
This guy's dramatic. Yeah, might have some trouble. Druit's dead.
Druit is dead.
Aye.
Do we know who did it, Mr. North?
Aye. Me being here, I think you can guess.
I will deal with that, given time.
If I might, and if it's all right with my current captain, when his head ends up on a spike, I'd very much like to help you stick it there.
Theodore North is no longer a member of the nation. His name will be struck from our books, and he will be hereby destroyed, along with his crew. Should any member of the nation find Vathona's vengeance, then if they can, they should engage it. But as I remember, it is quite the ship.
Aye, that it is.
Perhaps I will once again stalk the waters.
That will be a sight to see, Captain.
But the king is dead. What ships do we have, girls? What ships are in?
They start speaking names, the girls. They say Risk Taker, Carrion Call, Foehammer, Mirandel's Promise, The Innovation, Dawn Seeker, and Sea Harvester, and names that all echo around the chamber.
Ah! The fates have shown us great captains. All but Bromag is here. Those that are worthy. Captain Trial, we'll start the bounty. You know the rules. I do, sir. Good. We'll set the bounty at 1,000,000 gold.
I think a little bit of pee came out.
Aye, Captain. Whoever can bring it here first will be the new king. That is the word of Vathona. Go from me now! And go quickly, because these captains will have a head start. Harold's like, yes, sir. And he turns on his heels and walks straight out.
I tip my hat. I don't wear a hat, I tip my head. And do the same.
He stopped. Mr. North, I see the heir again in your father's ways, and we will have words. You are no longer loyal to him. And should you spare any member of his crew, I will add your head to said spikes.
With all due respect, Captain, if I see any member of his crew that are still loyal to him, I will hand you their heads on those spikes.
Well said, Mr. North. Go from me.
And I leave.
And the doors swing open. This time the light of day is blinding, and then it swings closed. Trial stops, like outside the doors.
So we aren't allowed to go anywhere until word reaches the other crews part here now. Those crews and us will have a head start on everyone else. But anarchy is about to grip the nation, sir. If you understand that.
Oh, yeah.
All the best pirates are going to try and raise 1,000,000 gold pieces. Gather your ground crew. From now on, you are the ground crew captain.
And he walks back to the ship alone.
I think for a second, and then go to a bar.
Okay. Meanwhile, what do you guys do?
Are we still in the junction?
Yeah, I think we were probably in the jungle for quite some time. But
Should we head explore a bit? You know, we probably found what we can here, right?
I suppose we could. Yeah. Why not?
Let's just have a drink.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm easily persuaded. And
Okay.
Go to a bar.
Okay, you're kind of coming out the junkyard, heading towards like a nearby. They're not so much bars as like, you know, like in the Caribbean and tropical islands, you occasionally get like that like beach bar. It's just on the beach.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
As you kind of walk down one of the pathways to get to it, a group of orcs break off and kind of just follow you for a minute and get in front of you.
Is he still wearing his armor?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's
I'm looking good.
There's 4 or 5 orcs. You guys, you two can see this from the boat. 4 or 5 orcs and a huge hulking creature, which you think is an ogre. Massive swollen belly. They're covered in bits and pieces and entrails. One of them is holding the head of a dolphin.
Touch.
Greetings.
Says one of the orcs.
Hi.
The fishmonger sends his regards.
Send him our regards also.
You're part of the risk takers ground crew?
Yes.
Essential elements, wouldn't you say, Mr. Gort? Essential. Won't be getting very far without it, will they? No, sir. No, sir. Shall we split their heads, Mr. Gort? Seems like a plan, sir.
How far away?
You can. They're within running distance of maybe 100.
Can I hear what's going on?
You can see that the mood is shifted.
The orc said essential element, catapult.
Okay, you pick up and catapult. I'm going to leave it there because we're at the end of.
It's 10.
His head explodes.
I want to give you guys something to just go away with. So before we do anything else, because I think it'd be interesting to make this spontaneous when it happens.
Yeah.
You just learned that the crews are going to be trying to raise them in gold pieces.
Yeah.
Next session, you might have ideas about how to do that.
Yeah.
Okay? So what we're going to do is do that now, and then you guys can take this home and read them.
Okay.
And kind of form your own opinions. So anyone who wants to suggest a check they would make to me with one of their skills
I can't.
to think about raising money.
Do I?
I'll go around the table and then we can get.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
No, it's fine. You can go first.
Oh yeah. With like having spent my entire life in scholarly pursuits of magic and nature,
Yeah.
I suppose it would be a question of am I aware of any like mysteries around like lost artifacts or like powerful magical caches that like we could find, salvage and sell?
Okay. Do you want to make an arcana or a nature check?
Arcana check.
Okay.
Yeah. That is a 21.
Feel free to read it when you get home, but just
Yeah.
read the title and then anyone else want to go?
Relic
So
of
we have to make the gold.
How would you, no, you
How
might
would you
get an
raise
idea
the
of
gold?
how the gold
So,
might
no, yeah,
be
so-
discovered or taken.
Yeah, no, I think what you're saying, because I thought as well that the bounty of 1,000,000 gold was a bounty on taking the ship.
Yeah.
No.
What you're saying is, we've got to raise 1,000,000 gold, and whoever raises 1,000,000 gold gets to become the king.
Yeah.
Right,
Oh, because I
okay,
thought we
cool.
had to kill his dad and then we get the
No,
gold
no,
and the
absolutely.
gold.
Yeah,
No.
that's the buy-in to be the king.
Yeah,
Is the
basically.
buy-in.
Wow.
So, for example, what I know is trickery and guile and
Yep.
a wink and a sharp tongue. So, is there any kind of ways I could kind of talk people into giving me more, like raising money that way, possibly trying to trick other crews to let them raise it
Okay.
for us, and
So
then stealing it from them, or something like that?
Okay, make me a roll.
Okay.
See what rumours you can.
What kind of role would you
Yep.
want to?
Well, it depends what skill you want to use.
Charisma, talking my way, or wisdom, knowing things.
Use a skill.
Oh, a skill. Deception, probably.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Deception or sleight of hand if I'm trying to steal things. What would you say?
Well, it's your choice. You get a different one depending on what you want.
Okay, I'll go sleight of hand because I'm better
Okay.
at that, and I will probably just try and let someone else raise the money and steal
Okay.
it from them. Natural one.
Okay, that's
I
first
guess
failure. You guys made 6 failures as a team. No more options. Anyone else want to have a go?
This is just in our background we might think
Yeah.
should be done. Well, obviously, like I'm still trying to find someone,
Okay.
and I might think that they could easily have either have acquired great wealth or
Yep,
know
cool.
how to acquire
Okay.
it. So I'm probably thinking along that line.
Okay, maybe an arcana check.
14.
Okay. Someone failed a check, so when 6 checks failed,
Yeah.
you can't have any more rumours.
So we can make multiple checks
Each, yeah.
Okay.
So, the junkyard seems to be an easy way to turn coin. And I'm very good at spotting stuff amongst junk anyway, because I've got a really good investigation skill. So I think maybe there's a way to capitalise on it, but I don't know how to gain more gold pistons.
Yeah, the problem is it's going to be like a generation long trade.
Yeah,
you need a scheme here rather
Yeah.
than anything else, or like something to discover or take. So that's what you think about it. Have a look at your skills. Think, how can I relate those?
Yeah.
That's about.
The only other thing I think of, but I don't know whether it'd be too far, is that I'm very good at tinkering with things, but it could also use that rather than to build things, is to sabotage. But I would.
Okay, ideas around sabotage. Feel free to roll me your dice.
Okay.
But what skill?
Maybe that's what.
It would be sleight of hand, just to sort of like.
So maybe that's where you've been using your tinkering wrong. Rather than make stuff, you should just try and wreck stuff. But
That's kind of one thing, like wrecking other crews.
You are good at that.
Feel free to maybe roll.
Okay.
What are you rolling?
Lemonade.
Badly.
Badly, yeah. So that's
Can't even mess things
that's
up.
a 6.
Sorry.
Wait. Would it be an advantage because it's using my tool set?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Thank goodness for that. Well. I mean, at least it's a 13.
That's okay, that's enough. You're thinking about things to sabotage. You're like, what can I blow up?
Yeah.
Possibly. And then this dawns on you.
Okay.
Okay.
I was thinking healing, rite of passage, maybe giving people, the proper burials that they deserve, or the passage from a life to death, or some kind like that, but as a service.
So cultural, religious sort of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously mysticism and intrigue, because I'm from a different land.
Yeah. Okay. Make me a roll.
Religion.
Yeah, religion. Absolutely, religion. Sorry, I should have said that.
13.
Okay. You're trying to think of cultural festivals, and this one really it's something you heard on the road, and it's not of your culture, but it is a culture that might have some death in it. And then you're like, yeah, maybe. I love this because any audience we have are not finding these out till next week. It's a proper cliffhanger.
I'm thinking go back to what I know, which would be boarding ships, maybe find a galleon and some stuff with a lot on there and take it over pirate style.
Okay.
So like intimidation, maybe.
Yep.
That's better than a 1. That's an 18.
Nothing comes to mind.
No? Cool. Well, at least
That
it's
one's
a
already
fail. That's no worries.
Yeah.
I'll have you guys read out
Yeah.
the titles when but that doesn't count as a failure. So.
Which is good.
You got anything, Matt?
Just trying to think, he'd probably know of natural wonders and all that, but then he wouldn't want to pillage them for the sake of gold. I suppose.
Maybe there is a way to.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if are there places of rare resources or minerals that, or an island that has to this probably doesn't exist, but a sheep on it which wool is like silk, something exotic like that.
You're trying to think of islands, and something clicks in your head. Maybe a nature check.
You know what? I'm going to take the 15 that I rolled earlier. That is a 21.
Dolphins for the win.
Right, we got 1 left and 5 failures left. So anyone? 4 failures. Some failures.
No, because he had advantage.
No.
Okay.
It's the same roll.
Anyone? Before Sam and Matt goes again, and I just does all of them. Okay, Matt, feel free.
I was going to say, it's sort of racking you, so, are there any lost treasure hoards or sunken ships that you might have heard of from Fable?
Okay.
So use my history for
Okay.
that. 22.
Okay, if you guys want to read all the titles out, and that's what we'll leave the.
No, so just the title.
Yeah, just the red title.
Which I thought that.
Shall I?
Yeah, we'll go around the table.
Contest of Champions.
Not so long lost temple, relic of the regent, and lair of the Morkoth.
Jazz hands.
In Liveplay. See, I told you we could offer you intelligence, but would you listen? No.
I am now your captain, sir. You will show me respect.
You're just like, I thought of all these ideas.
Yeah, true leadership takes credit.
Okay, what's the two we've got remaining?
Death of the Dragon.
And I've got the Empire's Bounty.
Okay, cool. Feel free to read those in more detail before next session.
Yeah.
I hope this left you with a little bit of a cliffhanger. That's 2 cliffhangers for the price of 1. Like weird titles that mean nothing to you, and an orc fight, because orc fights are always great.
Orc fights are always
I really don't like the orc fights.
I love it because you guys are just nitpicking.
I was going to try and do.
His head exploded.
I was trying to be democratic about it. You've already catapulted in a rocket's head. I thought I could
I mean,
talk
he
my
was about
way
to come
out of the
up with
situation because I've got that skill set.
They murdered
No, you
dolphins.
think you've got that skill
Yeah,
set.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so great about being.
They murdered dolphins, and they looked like they were about to start murdering you. So I decided diplomacy was no longer enough.
I like that your buttons are like animal cruelty and nothing else.
I will be this
You
world's
probably-
version of Peter.
Just chaining yourself to the mast of the ship. Like, I won't hold the ship can move. The ship can move.